Well, I'm absolutely outraged. I mean, we are experiencing attacks from all sides, all branches of this government. And effectively, the U.S. Supreme Court decided that state officials can pick your health care provider for you. And so, what that means for the patients in South Carolina who have relied on Planned Parenthood for birth control, for STI testing and treatment, for cancer screenings, for wellness exams, that the state has said not that we aren't excellent at providing that care, but rather that they cannot use their insurance to come to a Planned Parenthood. So that feels deeply dehumanizing, deeply de-dignifying, and so as a result, I'm absolutely outraged. This ruling, we should say, for now, South Carolina patients with Medicaid can continue to contact their local Planned Parenthood to understand what their healthcare options are. But we are actually, sounding an alarm that because of this decision, it means that other states with the same ideological agenda to ban access to life-saving, life-affirming sexual and reproductive care will be able to use the same mechanism to kick Planned Parenthood out of Medicaid. And so we'll have an impact writ large. This congressional defund bill, the reconciliation bill with the defund provision in it, puts at risk 200 health centers of closure because, Planned Parenthood, like any other healthcare provider, relies on being able to be reimbursed for the services that we provide, particularly for low-income communities. So it certainly will be a challenge, but I can tell you that our providers are fighters. Our local leaders are, warriors, and we're going to continue to do everything we can to save care for our patients.
So the case is about part of the Medicaid statute called the choice of provider provision that a lot of courts had assumed allowed patients to pick their own provider. And some states, red states, had begun trying to bar Planned Parenthood and other entities that offer abortion services from participating in the Medicaid program, even though they couldn't use the dollars for abortion, because they did abortion services with other money. And the Supreme Court issued a ruling today that'll open the door to that decision from states, and that will mean it'll be harder for patients to enforce this right to a choice of provider in other contexts. This is part of a campaign to what's called defund Planned Parenthood. That's also part of President Trump's big, beautiful bill, which would have the impact of kicking Planned Parenthood out of Medicaid everywhere, right? Not just in red states that have the desire to do so, but in blue or purple states as well. The campaign to defund Planned Parenthood has been going on for a long time, and the implications of it in the short term in red states are going to be primarily on Planned Parenthood affiliates that rely heavily on Medicaid to provide other non-abortion services. Some of those affiliates are probably going to have to close. Others are going to scale back services dramatically. And of course, if we see the big, beautiful bill come in a kind of 1-2 punch, those effects would be experienced in blue and purple states as well. So even if this isn't a ruling about abortion, it will have big knock-on effects on access, not primarily to abortion, but to a range of other reproductive health services. And of course, potentially on abortion too down the road. The court has made it much harder to establish that a statute creates an enforceable right. What seems to have been missing in this case was some sort of magic word like right or entitlement in the choice of provider provision. The reason that matters is, of course, that there are lots of rights that are created through federal statute and otherwise where those magic words might be missing too. So again, this might be a situation where you see other plaintiffs trying to enforce other rights in other contexts, and the court coming back and saying, well, Congress wasn't quite clear enough that this is the kind of statute they had in mind, so sorry, you can't do anything about this violation.